Welcome to the Stronger Leader Podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started. Okay. See me jacking with my phone, it's because I can toggle the camera, so you'll see that red light come on every now and
It
then.
ain't gonna bother me. I gotta do two things at once all the time.
All right.
How's my hair?
How's your what? Your hair? Your hair look great. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's how it starts. You ready? Watch this.
Little keyboard.
Welcome to another episode of the Stronger Leader Podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello. I'm here with one of my best friends in the whole world, Frank Termini. What's up, Frankie?
What do you say, Tony? Is this bar gonna be in my face? Do I want to do like that?
You can do whatever you want.
So the camera's this way?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay.
And the
All
other
right.
one's over there, so you're good. Here, watch
Beautiful.
this. Boom, camera's on you now. See the red lights on?
Okay, I got it.
So there we
got
go.
it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you bet. All right. So this is a special podcast for me because I've been on two of yours now.
Yes, sir.
And that cord's long. You can pull it out if you
No,
need to.
I'm good. I'll work with it. I got it. We're good.
And so, Frank's been gracious enough to have me on a couple of times to share my stories and the last time talk about the Stronger Leader movement and really give me an opportunity to use his platform to talk and share about me. And I just thought, hell, now that I have a platform, I think it would be appropriate to bring you on.
Reciprocate.
Reciprocate and share your story and also what you're doing in business, and pretty cool. So some of you guys may know Frank, and some of you may not. So I'm going to introduce you to him and let him tell you a little bit about his backstory. But Frank Termini and I have been friends for, I don't even know how long we've been friends. And I think back because a lot of us Italian kids ran into each other at weddings and everything else growing up. But it wasn't until I think that after I got out of prison.
I was probably late teens, early 20s.
Okay. So,
I bet.
So we knew each other before I went into prison. And then after I got out is when we really got close,
right?
And started moving around. So tell everybody who you are, where you're from, grew up. Tell a little bit about background of who you are.
Frank Termini, born and raised Kansas City, Missouri. Went to St. Gabriel's grade school, St. Pius High School. Went to Benedictine College on a football scholarship. Tore my ACL my freshman and sophomore year, which was kind of serendipitous, we'll say. Career day. I was actually telling somebody it was career day the other day because that's what sparked my interest in physical therapy. After I had my second knee surgery, and I don't know, I probably ended up doing.
So when you went to college, that wasn't you weren't going to go study physical therapy?
No, I didn't know what I was going to do.
You were going to play football.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to just get probably just the easiest degree you could get and just, play football. And that's all I really wanted to do. And then honestly, if I'd have done that, I probably would have been miserable. I wouldn't have had near the opportunity to, be so diverse in different things that I do, as far as, I've done home health physical therapy, outpatient physical therapy. I've been on the sales side of it.
Now, did you know you wanted to get into medicine of some sort? Was that kind of a passion?
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
right.
Matter of fact, I didn't know. I teeter-tottered back and forth between med school and PT school up until like the 23rd hour. And I just realized this is what I want to do. And it's actually taken me 12 years to really, well, more than that. Gosh, I've been a physical therapist for 25 years. Hold on. 20 years. I've been a PT, and I finally have gotten myself in a position where I can target the patient population that I want to target.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's so many years where I was an outpatient PT or home health PT.
You just had to take whoever would come in so you can make a buck.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And you always like getting people better.
Okay.
You always
no
like
question.
changing people's lives. You always like doing that. But, you know, I love working with athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and I love working with people who want to transform, and not just like their body habitus, but transform mentally, transform themselves as the entire person, right?
Yeah.
Like here, anybody can take someone and say, here, we're going to make you lose 30 pounds.
Right.
Right. But how many people can take someone, make them lose 30 pounds, make them keep it off, and show them a lifestyle where it's going to ultimately modify everything?
Yeah, you know, lately I've been watching some of your stuff, and I'm getting this notion that you're not wanting to take a guy that is a dad and a husband and make him skinny or fit. You're wanting to make him a better husband and a dad by way of physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and it sounds like you're forming well-rounded people from your program.
Well, it's what I'm trying to do, right? So, like, all of the people that are on our program,
Because if you feel like shit, you're going to be shit.
it's it.
Period.
Here, how many? You stepped on stage. Did you feel good?
No.
Were you mentally healthy?
No.
You looked great, right?
Yeah.
But is that something that's sustainable? Is that something that you think is healthy mentally?
No,
It was a bucket list.
My
for
wife
you.
wouldn't let me. She won't let me do it again because I was miserable.
Right.
Oh.
So it's like, here, is that what you really want? Like if somebody came to me and they're like, hey, I want to train for a show, I'm not your guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not your guy.
I did look good though.
I mean, but there's no, it's not sustainable. And it's,
Right.
you know, but if you come to me and you're like, hey, I'm in chronic pain, I feel like shit, I have no motivation, I want to change the way I look, I just don't know how to do it, you are perfect for us. Right? Because the program attacks so many different facets. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's targeting mental health, it's targeting physical health. And when you physically and mentally feel good, you're going to make yourself look good.
Okay, so let's hit the pause button right there, and here's why. Because I think that, you know, me working with my psychologist that I work with now, he introduced himself in our very first call and took me through all of his credentials of going to school, what he did after school, and he said something I thought was really, really unique. And he said, I'm not telling you all that I've done and all my credentialing and all that. I want you to know what my life's experiences have been, because based on how I treat you is going to be based on a lot of my own life experiences. And it's not saying that I'm right or wrong, or another doctor may tell you something a different way, but these are the experiences that I've had in life that have formulated my bias, you know, opinions of the medical side, of the psychological side of people. And so I think that it's important that people know your background, you know, from all the stuff you've been through and why there's a passion in creating better people. It ain't just for $1. I think you've got a deeper passion to help people, and you have an altruism about you. But it's formulated from.
It's not just for $1, and that's why if it was just for $1, there would be no vetting. And like here at the end of the day,
you would take the guy that wants to do a show because you could get somebody ready for a show.
I could do it.
Yeah,
I could do it, but it's just not my thing.
Right.
You know, but here, I also want someone who is serious about making a change. Mm-hmm. Don't hem-haw with me. I don't have time for it.
Right.
I got 30 people that I have to see daily, talk to daily, that are dealing with serious shit, that want serious results.
Have you fired anybody yet? Patients?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
With the new program?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Hell yeah, I have. Hell yeah, I have. Like, if you're not going to do what I tell you to do,
Right.
don't pay me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Go pay the other guy. Mm-hmm. Don't come to me and say, oh, this guy says this and this guy says that and this guy says this.
Because the first thing they're going to do is get on social media and say they worked with you for 8 weeks and got nothing out of it.
Well, yeah, right. And at the end of the day, like, here, go pay the guy you're talking to then.
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. That's like, here, you could get 10 different professional golfers and hand them one golf club, and all 10 of them are going to show you 10 different ways to hit that damn
That's right.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to hear, oh, I can't do this, and oh, I can't do that, and oh, I can't do this, and oh, I can't get off my GLP-1, and here, I don't have time for it. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, people who say they can and people who say they can't, you're both right.
Right. You said that one to me a little while back, and I've been using it over and
It's
over.
aggravating.
It is.
It's so true, though. It's so at the end of the day, I'm starting to implement certain things to figure out before they come on board if they're ready for it.
Yeah, some questions. That's good.
Right. And so I'm working with Moss Marketing Group trying to vet these folks because, look, if you want to feel good mentally and physically, and you want to look good and be a healthier version of yourself and be a better spouse and be a better parent and be a better coworker, and you are recognizing that you have shortcomings in these areas, hey, look, you're going to do great.
Just my wheels are spinning here. Do you think having so this doctor I'm working with, he has a program that he's developed. You know, he's the team doctor for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Got it.
So he's got a program. It's called Optimal. It's the name of his company, and it's a series of questions that they take you through, and it's for other things as well. But what if he could help you develop a psych evaluation, initial psych evaluation? It can be condensed, it can be diluted, doesn't have to be a real deep one, but something that can serve you up a probability of success of this patient.
Yeah, I would be very interested in something like that. For sure.
I got a point.
Well, and at least if they have shortcomings, I know what they are, and then I know how to work with them.
It. Yeah,
you know,
right.
Because like I have people that they'll inquire, they'll send me emails, and they'll say, "Hey, I want to set up a call," and then they won't get on the call.
Right.
And they won't answer their phone. And I'm like, here, look, I'm going to call you twice. If you don't answer, I'm out.
Hey, did my guy that we ended up donating that deal to the whole thing from before, the guy in Arizona, did he go through the program?
No.
He never did?
No.
Really?
Here, matter of fact, I think you jacked them all up because he wanted to give it away, in my opinion, because he just didn't want to do it.
Right, absolutely.
And then you come in and say, here, I'm going to sponsor him. And he was like, he ghosted me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, you donated to a 501c3,
That's
so
all right.
it's fine.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's back up. I know there's been a little bit of darkness in your life, and I hate reliving these moments, but I think it's important for people to understand because of the character that you are and that you remain to be in spite of the setbacks and the things that you've been through. I think it's super important because it validates who you are today. The strong person that you are today because of what you've been through. So I think it's important for people to know. So let's back up. And you and I have done a lot of drugs together and partied, and that is no secret on this podcast for anyone. And you've turned your life around. Turning your life around probably is not the right vernacular because you never really were turned backwards. You're just off course a little bit.
I always, and I would say through the prayer of my mother and my father, had a very, very tight leash on me from the Holy Spirit. I didn't realize it at the time, but the self-loathing that came with the drug use, as I look at it, was the Holy Spirit telling me, this isn't you.
Right, yeah, right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So when did you start, when did you get off into the partying? Now you lost your son. How old were you?
Andrew Ross died 2 weeks after his 5th birthday. I was 21 years old. I turned 21 that October.
So 16 years old, you had a kid.
Yes.
16 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
What's that like? Talk to us about that.
Well, here, I mean, it was, I'm fortunate that I'm a very strong personality.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that I really don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. And because having a kid in a Catholic school in the 90s was not easy. It was very hard. I was shamed by the church. I was shamed by the administration. My girlfriend at the time I wasn't allowed to escort her. for homecoming queen. I wasn't allowed to be up for homecoming king. They took me off the ballot. They weren't going to let me play in the homecoming game.
Wow. Lucky they didn't kick you out of the school.
Well, I mean, so they brought me in. The principal and the vice principal at the time brought me in and said, "Hey, listen, there's people that are complaining about it. They don't want you up for homecoming court, and we're not going to let anyone vote for you, and we're not letting you escort your girlfriend. And it's bad enough that," this is exactly what they said, "it's bad enough that your name is in the paper every weekend." Because back then they would say, "Oh, Frank Termini rushed for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns Friday night for St. Pius, blah, 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 blah." They'd put that shit in the paper every morning on Sundays. And it's like, "It's bad enough that you're in the paper representing St. Pius. We don't want you representing our homecoming court." And I'm like, I'm sitting in there. I'm a 17-year-old kid. Well, hold on. Yeah, I'm 17, getting ready to turn 18. And and they said, "We don't know if we're going to let you play in the homecoming game Friday night." And I was just like, I stood pat in front of them, dead stare, and then ran into the bathroom and just cried.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah. And so, Coach Byers, I didn't go to school that day, and he called me and he's like, "Get your ass here. You're playing in this game tonight." And I scored 4 touchdowns. No. They had the JV in. At one point, they had the JV in, and we had the ball on like the 2-yard line. And Benny Palmatieri goes, "Go in there real quick." And he called my number, and I scored another touchdown. And I came off the sideline. He goes, "You think you're going to get your name in the paper?" So I did. It was nice to have those guys in my corner, but still, I get it, right? Like, nobody wanted me dating their daughter.
Right.
I didn't blame them. I didn't. Even at 16 years old, 17 years old, that didn't bother me. I understood that.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But what I did fail at was instead of proving everyone wrong, I put both middle fingers in the air and said, "Fuck it. They already think this way about me.
Yeah.
They already think I'm promiscuous. They already think I'm a degenerate. Fuck it. I'm just going to be a degenerate."
Yeah.
And so I still made good grades and I did everything I was supposed to do, but
with a chip on your shoulder.
I had a chip on my shoulder and I was incredibly promiscuous.
Yeah. Right.
Because I'm just like, for me, I was just like, whatever, I mean, I'm not going to steal it, but if they're going to give it to me, you know what I mean? And so, but that's not what I teach young men now.
No, it's because of, that's what I'm talking about. This is because of what you went through. It forms who you are today.
But did I have a chip on my and there was also plenty of girls whose dads probably wouldn't have cared, but they just didn't want to date a dude with a kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. And once again, get it. Completely understand. Like, here, even though I had a kid, if there was a girl that had a baby, I didn't want to deal with that. It's like, shit, I already got my own.
I know, right?
So there was judgment passed bilaterally. And at the end of the day, I had to, it's like, it is a consequence of your action. Like, you could choose your sin, but you don't get to choose your consequence.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And so now, do I think that the administration and the Catholic Church handled that right? No, I don't. I'll say it right now.
Should have been heavier handed, you think?
No, I don't think it should have been heavier handed. I think they should have said, hey, look, y'all don't, here, the kid, he didn't have an abortion. He takes care of his son. He's got joint custody of him. And you know what? He gets good grades. He doesn't cause any trouble. If you guys don't like it, parents, tough shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Came to confession.
Yeah. I mean, it's like because the difference is, and I know it now, is they didn't give me guilt. They gave me shame. Totally different message from a totally different messenger. They shamed me. They did not guilt me. Right. Guilt is like, hey, all right, so premarital sex is wrong. You know it's wrong. This isn't you. You're better than this.
Guilt brings about conviction, and conviction brings about change.
No, you know what they made me do? I don't want nothing to do with the Catholic Church.
Yeah, made you go
fuck you guys.
Opposite direction. Yeah, for sure.
You know, excuse my language, but I'm just being straight up.
So, all right. So then So Andrew also, he was 5. So, how was it raising a kid as a kid?
I had a lot of help from my mom and my dad showing me what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know. I just did what my dad and mom told me to do.
Yeah.
Now a lot of it was intuitive,
Sure.
right? Like here, I like Carrie, his mom,
Any relationship with her still?
Oh,
to this day?
yeah.
Friends?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I went to her wedding when she got married. Yeah.
That's cool.
So at the time, her parents were devout Catholics, right? Abortion was 100% out of the question.
Did you think about it?
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are you
Right.
kidding? Hold on. I went and borrowed the money to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 15 years old, you bet your ass I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I would have done it, and back then, wouldn't have lost an ounce of sleep.
Yeah.
She decided absolutely not. I'm not doing that. Okay.
You ever know I went through that?
You had a girl have one?
An abortion. Mm-hmm. Back
Yeah.
when I was about that old.
Yeah. Right. So I would have 100% done it. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't have at 15, either that or have to go sit in front of my mom and dad and tell them that I got a girl pregnant. No. So,
by the way, we don't say do that. we don't condone doing that now.
No, but
because we know what we know.
So her parents at the time were like, I think we're going to try to give this baby up for an adoption. And so we found out about it, and Catholic Charities brought me in for an interview, and I was like a rude asshole to this lady. I'm like, you are not talking me into this. There is no way in hell that this baby's going up for adoption.
Your parents would have adopted him.
That's what we were going to do.
Yeah.
That's what we were going to do. Well, come to find out, she called me and she said, "Thank you so much." She was just an emotional.
Sure, following some.
Carrie would have killed herself if she'd have gave that baby up.
Yeah.
I think she would have. I think either that or she would have, because the sun rose and set with him, and him with her. Mm-hmm. I mean, super mama's boy, right? And so she would have never, ever, ever got through that. Never would she have gotten through that. And so I blocked it. And then once he was born, you have to have a paternity test.
Sure.
In order.
You are the father of that kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And my dad was all like, I really don't want this baby getting stuck with a needle. I'm like, Dad, he's not going to remember. They're probably going to take it out of the umbilical cord, but that was like his big thing. I just don't want him stuck with a needle.
God bless him.
And so, yeah, you know how he was. And so anyway, the baby was mine. We got joint custody, and I saw him. So I can't even remember now. It's probably like he would come over 2-3 days a week, that type of stuff.
Really involved.
Yeah, for sure. And she allowed me to be really involved. She was like encouraged it, wanted it. She wasn't like, she knew that it would benefit him to have me in his life.
Did her parents come around?
Oh, 100%. Immediately. Hold on. As soon as he was born, all that shit was gone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like any animosity, that was all gone.
Good.
Immediately.
That's good.
And so that was a simple deal.
Good.
Right? Once he was born, everyone was like, okay, we're going to raise this baby together.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did.
Yeah.
And we communicated regularly, and it was good.
Yeah. So what? So fast forward now. What led to the diagnosis? How did you?
She kept calling me, telling me he has headaches, and I said, "You're out of your mind. This kid don't have no headaches. You're crazy."
You're giving him the headaches.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, I told my mom, she's nuts. There ain't nothing wrong with this baby, and that was a very difficult way for me to learn. Don't underestimate a mother's intuition. And so I remember one day we were down at the park. If you remember my old house, the park diagonal from it, Brooktree Park, and he was running around playing, and all of a sudden he stopped and grabbed his head. And I was like, that's weird. Maybe she ain't lying. But it went away real quick. Mm-hmm. And so we did what did we do? We did an EEG.
Which is?
They kind of monitor the brain waves while he was asleep.
Okay.
And they did an MRI just for like basically what they thought was just going to be defensive medicine. And I didn't even go. I was like, there ain't nothing wrong with this baby. And sure enough, I went to work that morning. It was in the summer. I remember Billy Joel and Elton John were in concert, and I was working for Tony Savella, loading and unloading the trucks. And I got home, and my mom goes, they found something on Andrew Ross's MRI. We got to go to we got to go to Children's Mercy Hospital. And so my dad at the time worked down at Necco, which was at 11th Street, and I walked in the room and looked at his face and knew he was fucked, you know. And so they told us that day, they said, hey, listen, this is bad, you know, where it's at. It was a pontine brainstem glioma. And they...
Those are inoperable or untreated?
So it was inoperable. Okay. Well, we didn't realize it. So we contacted a guy named Fred Epstein in Manhattan, who was a pediatric neurosurgeon. And he said, go through the radiation and get another MRI and send it to me. And so we went through the radiation, did another MRI, sent it to him, and he said it is inoperable. He's like, there's no way to discern good and bad tissue. There's no way I can operate on him. They did some anti-angiogenesis therapies like thalidomide and tamoxifen and shit like that to
try to shrink it.
Right. And then he passed. So he was diagnosed in June of 99, and he passed 10 months later in April of 2004. Excuse me, April of 2000.
So, no aggressive treatment methods, chemo, radiation.
Back then, none of it was available. They didn't have anything. They did have chemo, but they had to break the blood-brain barrier, and in order to break the blood-brain barrier, there was all kinds of real bad side effects like seizures.
Complication,
and I'm like, I'm not doing this to this kid.
Right.
And so he passed April 15th, 2000.
God, that's got to be so 10 months. Just watching the clock, I guess, for lack of better terms. What's that look like? And the reason I'm asking is because you obviously made it through it, and there's somebody that's probably going to watch this that might be going through it right now.
I would tell you what not to do. And I say this to kids all the time, and they automatically just assume that when I say it, I'm talking about sports. But when I say it, I'm not. It's way easier to live with failure than it is with regret. And I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but one of them was distancing myself. Because I was too scared to watch him die. Trying to
isolate, yeah.
I was too scared to watch him die.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I wouldn't do. I would spend every waking moment, and I was just too scared to watch him die.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my regrets in life is that. So I would not do that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
My mom, her, in retrospect, that burden pretty much fell on them. Right. I mean, I was there, but I was in denial, and I just
I mean, it's a bad dream.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. And fortunate for me, and for him, and for everyone else involved, he went down really, really, really fast.
Good.
I mean, his condition deteriorated. Yeah, very, very fast. And I kind of remember driving home because she had called me. It was a Saturday morning, and it was beautiful outside. And she's like, you guys probably need to come out here. And I remember driving out there, and I kind of had this overwhelming sense of peace on the way out there. And we got there. He was non-responsive. I laid with him. And his mom said, I'm thirsty. I went downstairs, got her water, and I came up and he was gone. And I bet we weren't there 20 minutes. And he passed. So, but yeah, that's probably one of the only regrets I have. And if I could talk to anyone who is, God forbid, walking through something like that, I would say run toward the roar. That's what I would say. I would say run to the roar. As hard as it is, run to it and just be there for every painful thing. And that's what I would tell them to do. And I would say find out, get support, get someone to help walk you through it, get someone to help walk with you, get someone to help you stand when you can't. Pray and pray and pray and pray. So, like, you can pray through pain and you can complain through pain. And the bottom line is they're both vehicles and they're both going to take you somewhere. And when Andrew Ross died, I complained through pain. And it took me somewhere. And it took me to drug use. It took me to promiscuity. It took me to anger at God. It took me to, believing the lies that the devil told me. Right? Because you can guarantee that he's going to inject the lie somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Where's your God now?
Right. Yeah. Anytime there's trauma, he's going to inject that lie.
Right.
And you could either be spiritually discerned enough to understand he's messing with you and be able to pick up on it, or you could be a 21-year-old punk kid full of pride that's like, hey, you had your shot and you didn't. And you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you now. And that's the way I postured.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like an atheist, like I didn't believe in him. I believed
You were
in him.
pissed at him.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pissed. And I was like, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you right now. Not at all. And it took me somewhere.
So let's talk about that recovery process. From that, what was the road to healing? Obviously, like you said, you dove into whatever distractions you could. Good,
Self-medicating.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of alcohol, drugs, women. Somehow managed to still get degrees in school.
Do you think that you dove into the drugs and the alcohol intentionally to max, or you think it was just a subconscious thing? You just were.
So here, when you identify yourself as anything other than a child of God, you are going to lose that identity. I identified myself as Frank Termini, the father, and Frank Termini, the football player. Well, Frank Termini, the football player, was gone after the second ACL surgery.
Yeah. That
was done. So now it's Frank Termini, the father. Okay. So Andrew Ross dies, and now what's Frank Termini? He ain't shit.
Right.
Right. And so, so it used to be wake up, weights, school, football, film, being a dad. Okay. Then football's gone. Now it's just school and being a dad. Well, then Andrew Ross is gone and now it's just school and I got all kinds of time on my hands. Now, if you were to have a psychologist psychoanalyze me, he's probably going to say you were in pain and you were doing, I don't know. I just think I had too much time on my hands and the idle mind is the devil's playground.
No doubt.
And so I was like, being a student's easy.
Right.
I can do that,
Yeah, you didn't have enough stimulation.
I didn't have it. And so
So you stimulated.
I stimulated myself. So I 100% I certainly wasn't consciously like, oh, poor, pitiful me. This all happened to me. And so now I'm going to do drugs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I did drugs because it was just fun.
Yeah. Right. Right. It was distraction. It was fun. It was fun. It was funner than sitting there crying and yeah.
So I dibbled and dabbled for God, figure 9 years, 10 years. Would I ever say that I was a drug addict?
Yes.
I mean, probably. I mean, I was fortunate, when I met Michelle and she gave me the ultimatum, I was able to just be like, hey, I'm not losing her over this. And at the time, I got.
So how old were you? You were in your mid-20s, right, when you met Michelle?
No. I was 30.
Oh, you were okay. All right.
Yeah, I was 30 when her and I started dating, and
so you were almost a grown-up.
almost, and it really, because here, when I was with Ross Joseph and Nina, zero desire. I was like, we're with them. She's, she only gets them a certain amount of time because, she was co-parenting, and it was like, everything's going to be about them when we're with them.
How old were they when you?
Nina was 9. Ross Joseph was 11.
Okay.
And, but they would go to their dads. And then when they went to their dads, that's when I would slip. Mm-hmm. That's when I would slip. And it wasn't until we had Gianna, when I had Gianna there all the time, that I just had I just didn't do it.
Right.
I just had no desire to do it. And so I just quit. I just stopped. Luckily, no withdrawals, no nothing. Just stopped. No more cocaine, no more, alcohol. I mean, I'll drink now.
Yeah,
but,
here and there. Yeah.
It's sporadic. It used to be that if I drank, I did coke.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's why I quit drinking.
Well,
I was an alcoholic. I was purely drugs. So I would drink as the vehicle to get me primed to go.
So when I went to therapy for this, the psychiatrist told me, he said, you are not addicted to alcohol or cocaine. He said, you're addicted to cocaethylene.
Yeah, you told me that.
When you use the two drugs, your liver will metabolize a third that's more addictive than any one of them by themselves. And so cocaethylene, so what would happen is
I just thought Coke and beer went great together.
And so I would drink, and then I would go to the ends of the earth to get cocaine. And I would disappear. My wife wouldn't know where the hell I was at. I would just leave. And then I would show up an hour later with my chewing on my ear. And she'd be like, where the hell did you go? And then for a while,
I'm good.
And then for a while, she was thinking that I'm sneaking out, I'm doing something with another girl, I'm being unfaithful, all these different things. And finally, I just told her, I went and got some fucking coke. And then naturally she'd get pissed and she'd get, aggravated. And so, I just stopped, and I don't like, I can drink now, and you could throw a pile of that shit in front of me, and I'd have no desire to do it.
Right. Yeah.
None at all.
I don't even have a desire to drink anymore. Here, I take that back. It's not a desire. It's wish I could have a couple glasses of wine, get that nice warm feeling after eating a steak. And, I miss the festivities because I think that now I'm responsible enough to where I could, but I've brought myself to a place where it's just not an option because I don't even want to open that door.
Yeah.
And the number one thing, reason why I am so, other than keeping my family, the number one thing is I don't miss being hungover. Not even a little bit.
Yeah,
that
right.
is because I would get really, really messed up.
Yeah.
So the hangovers were really, really bad.
Yeah, especially if you did coke. Then it was awful.
His whole face is clogged and hurts.
Terrible.
And,
it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
So all right. So you and Michelle got married. What year?
We got married April the 20th, 2012.
Okay. And then when did Gianna come?
Gianna come May 19th, 2011.
Okay, hey, listen, we do things in different order around here. That's all right. All right. So you guys got married. Good. And then have you guys, as long as I've known you, I've never had to discuss or talk to you about any marriage struggles at all. Have you guys ever had marriage struggles?
No.
You haven't, have you?
No.
Yeah.
Here, you know what? One time when I first started coaching football, we went through a little bit of an issue where I was home but not present. Mm-hmm. And I was watching a lot of film and studying and doing all that stuff. And when football got over, we went and talked with a pastor and his wife, Pastor Kurt Venery. You should have him on this podcast.
I will. Yeah, I know.
You should definitely have him on. And he just broke it down for me. And I was like Robert De Niro with Billy Crystal. I was like, you fixed me, one visit, and really it did. He's like, hey, look, life is going to make you guys separate. Your kids are going to make you separate. You have to be intentional to come back.
Right.
Over and over and over again. And I just started to be intentional.
Yeah.
I just started being, and it fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just wanted to see me be intentional. Even if I'm intentional trying to make something happen between her and I, trying to set up a date night and something happens and we can't go. Just being intentional and, it fixed everything. And, so Yeah, we did go through a very small patch.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I've never really seen you guys,
Very, very rarely.
You blow up and throw your temper tantrums,
Yeah.
and she just
ignores me.
rolls her eye.
Yeah. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So you guys were you married. You had, and then when did the twins come?
Twins came 10, 16, 13. Tomorrow's their 12th birthday.
I didn't know they were so close to my anniversary.
Yep.
10/13 is our anniversary just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Hey, happy anniversary.
Thanks. So, what year you said? 16?
10, 16, 13.
13. Okay. All right. Gosh, I can't believe they're 12.
Yeah. It flew.
Gosh.
It flew.
Yeah. Gemma's 12 going on 22.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, talk about another piece of your past here, or your with Nina. So you raised them, you helped raise them. They were 9 and 11 when you met them. Mm-hmm. So you played a big part in their life and really formative years. I know you had some rough go with Ross Joseph a little bit, right? Or maybe more Nina?
Ross Joseph was just bullshit.
Was a boy, yeah.
Yeah, he was just
finding his way.
Yeah, and so he and honestly, all through high school, Nina was easy breezy. Mm-hmm. Hell, Nina used to stay at home with me, and we would sit there, and she liked watching all the 80s movies. She liked, Caddyshack, Hollywood Nights, all the Fletches, Vacation, Animal House. She would just laugh and giggle, and we would sit down in the basement, and we would watch all the old 80s movies. She'd have her girlfriends come over. She went out a little bit, but for the most part, Nina was like an easy teenager.
Mm-hmm, that's good.
Nina began to be defiant after high school. And when I say defiant, I'm like the most defiant kid you've ever met in your entire life.
Okay.
Like hyper defiant.
So, all right. So then at what age, so just right after high school, did she, cause she went to cosmetology school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was doing makeup for money for all through high school.
Mm-hmm. It's like Melania doing them nails down here in the basement.
She was doing that stuff all through high school. Yeah. And so she obviously had a knack for it, and she did a fantastic job. And when she got out of cosmetology school, I gave her part of my office I said, here, we'll make this room your room and do your thing. And so she started doing that, and she was doing good. And then she decided that she was going to go get space in a salon. And she was going to work at Carm Abbott's, and she was going to pay Carm rent. Mm-hmm. And that's the day that we found her. The day that she was supposed to start at Carm's is the exact day that we found Nina. But if you rewind a little bit, Nina had pancreatitis and uncontrollable pain, was given opioids in the hospital, and I think that's what started the struggle with opioids. That is my educated guess on when that whole thing started.
I feel like I remember because she had that pancreatitis not long before she actually passed, right? So
maybe a year.
Yeah, so this was with the whole drugs and that whole rehab. It was a whirlwind. It was all over a short period of time because it wasn't. You didn't fight this demon for years and years and years.
Not at all. I bet we didn't fight it for a year. Here, we found out that she was struggling with addiction in May, and she passed away in June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Melania and Gianna had a cheer competition in Orlando. We stayed home, if you remember. Mm-hmm. And Michelle called me up, and she's like, hey, call Dr. Perry. Nina's sick. She's not feeling good. So I'm trying to get a hold of Dr. Perry, and Michelle calls me back and says, don't worry about Dr. Perry. I'm like, what's going on? And she said, Nina came clean. What's happening is she's going through withdrawals. And so I'm like,
so who is Dr. Perry from the pancreatitis?
Our primary care. No, it's our primary care doctor.
Okay,
so we thought she just had the flu.
Oh, well, that's the symptom. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And so, I called my brother and I'm like, Drew, because he's went through what he went through. Another good guy to probably have come on.
He's coming on.
Okay. And so he's like, look, Frank, if she's packed to be in Florida, she's packed to go to rehab. He's like, don't even let her come home. And so I called Michelle, and there was a place in Atchison, Kansas that was full, but they had two sister facilities, one in Boston, one someplace in California. And so we elected to send her to Boston. So the next day, Michelle, this was in COVID, so we couldn't even go with her. We weren't even allowed to go with her. So Michelle puts her on a plane from Florida to Boston, fly her to Boston. She stays in Boston for 3 weeks. She comes out, and to my recollection, it wasn't more than maybe 10 to 14 days that she actually relapsed and accidentally overdosed.
Did she have? Did she do any of the Suboxone or any of that?
No, okay. No. So what? So she dried out in rehab, so she didn't need the Suboxone.
Got it.
So the Suboxone,
a different kind of rehab. Yeah.
Well, the Suboxone is to block the withdrawal. She just went through it, right? And so she came out, and I remember the day she died. It was a Wednesday, and me and Michelle were sitting outside that morning just raving about how good she was doing. We were like, man, she looks great. She's smiling. She's laughing. She's like her old self. She's engaging with everyone. She's gained some weight. She looked amazing. Unbeknownst to us, she was already gone. And so she had a pedicure with Michelle that day. And I was in a lunch meeting, and I was going to bring Michelle some food home. And so I'm on the way home, and Michelle called me, and I'm like, babe, I'm right down the street. I got your food. And she goes, don't come home. Come to Nina's. And I'm like, what's up? She goes, well, I can't get in her apartment. Life 360 has her here, and she's not answering the door. And my heart sunk. I literally couldn't breathe.
And you knew. Did you know right then?
Yeah. I couldn't breathe, and I wish I would have told her
not to go in there.
But I didn't want to go in there and find her. And so it was very cowardly on my part how I handled it. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I couldn't think straight. I was trying to control my breathing. I remember driving over there. I was like, oh my God. And my kids were there, the three little ones. And so we got off the phone, and I said, I'm on the way over there right now. Well, she called me back maybe 5 minutes later, just hysterical. Just, and it's a scream you can't get out of your head. Right. It's a scream you cannot get out of your head. And as soon as I pulled up, I just grabbed the three little ones. I didn't even get to Michelle. I pulled up, and the three little ones ran to me, and I just put them in the car. And I had to call my mother. I called my mom, and I actually went and grabbed my mother-in-law. I didn't want to tell her because she was by herself. I knew my mother was with Francine, so she had somebody with her. So I went and picked up my mother-in-law, and then Elena, my cousin Elena, came and picked up my kids and took them with her. And then by that time it was all blocked off, crime scene,
right,
all that stuff. And then they did the toxicology report, and she didn't have anything in her system but fentanyl. Yeah, nothing. So whatever she took wasn't like a combination of something that was laced with fentanyl. It was just straight up fentanyl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I didn't ever see her in there. My wife is the one that found her, and she was just on her back, covers over her with her arms like this. And so,
fell asleep.
Just fell asleep and didn't wake up. So that's how that went. And so, in that situation, I had already made amends with God, for lack of a better word. And that was a situation where I prayed through pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember.
Were you guys were you devout in the church? You guys had
God,
started.
yeah. At that point,
you had
yeah.
gotten, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, 100% at that
and
point.
Andrew got you going there, right? Because I remember we went when I was trying to get sober. We went, and it was the day Andrew was getting baptized.
Yeah.
We happened to be there. We didn't know. We happened to try that church, and Andrew was getting baptized, and I think we saw your mom. And I don't even know if you were there. Were you there for his baptism?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were there. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what happened? So the next day I wake up and my family's in ruins. Obviously.
Yeah.
Right. I'm in ruins. My wife's a wreck.
How old are the littles at this time?
7, and Gianna had just turned 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Gianna just turned 10. So, and at the time, I had a routine. I did a daily devotional every morning. I would spend, 5-10 minutes, listening to worship music, and then I would do a devotional, and then I'd go about my day. And I remember waking up that morning, and I was like, I'm not walking away, God. I'm not going to do what I did last time, but I don't want to deal with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, 2 kids, how the fuck does this happen? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just being straight honest with you. I'm not paraphrasing. I'm saying, how in the fuck does this happen? Twice, 2 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I'm going to follow you. I don't want to fucking hear it right now.
We just ain't talking right now.
And for some reason, it's pretty convicting, honestly, how the Holy Spirit still comes in and injects himself into that situation with kindness and patience. And he was like, just do it. Just do your routine. Just do it. It was so patient. It wasn't like abrupt. It was like someone just putting their arms around you.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't even really get myself to pray, but I did get myself to listen. And what he said to me was, if you're going to praise on the mountain, you got to praise in the valley. And I never forget the words to the song, and it was so incredibly profound in that moment and right on time, and just like the Holy Spirit does, and it just said, hey, listen, if you praise on the mountain, you praise when it's in your way, and you praise when you're in the valley, and so that's what I did, and it changed everything, and I had moments where the devil would come in and he would say, you're never going to have joy in your life. I don't care that you have 4 kids left. Your only thing you're going to remember is the 2 you lost. And he would say that to me over and over and over again. And I remember I pulled my car over. And I'm like, because I knew at the time I'm spiritually discerned at this point.
Right.
And so I know who the message is coming from.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, let me figure out what God has to say about this at this point. And he flat out, just as audible as it could be, that's horseshit. Yeah. You're blessed.
He's lying, Frank.
He's like, you're blessed, you're called, you're healed, you're whole, you're saved, and it's all in my name. And everything you do isn't going to be for you, but it's going to be able to show everyone what I can do in these situations. And it's all about me. And I was like, okay, great. That's great. But how the hell am I going to lead my family through all this? And he's like, you don't even have to do that. Just bring them to me. He was like, just bring him to me. I'll do that. You can't do it, matter of fact. Yeah. Right. And so once I realized that, because it takes humility to do that. Right? Pride makes you want to sit there and try to control everything. Okay. And I was just like, okay, he flat out said, no, you can't do it.
Yeah.
No man can do it. No one. So I don't care how strong you are. Bring them to me. I'll get them through it. And that's what I do.
That's what you do. And that's what you do.
I still do it now. It's like, that's a constant, so Frankie George struggles more than anyone. He actually seen Nina. And so he has post-traumatic stress disorder. And he's like, he is in a point where it's like, you tell me to talk to Jesus, but it's not helping. I'm like, he's not just taking it away because he wants you to diligently pursue him.
Right.
Right. So if he takes it away, you'll stop. You'll stop.
Yeah.
And he knows that. And so he wants this constant pursuit over and over and over again. And, he takes you out of your box. He molds you into what he wants you to be, but it's only as a consequence of your diligent pursuit, right? And so it's like, hey, Moses heard from the burning bush, but if he didn't go get up and investigate what was going on, he took action, right? He took action again. The sea didn't part till he ran out into the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it parted and he ran.
Faith without works.
It was this diligent pursuit of God. And so I tried to explain that to an 11-year-old. It's difficult, but I'm like, trust me, trust the process, and pursue him over and over and over and over again. And you'll see that it doesn't go away, right? You don't ever forget her, obviously, but you learn to manage it.
Well, there's something I've related lately. First of all, proof of the power and the presence of God is not in the absence of attacks, but it's the ability of the believer to withstand it.
Right.
And that is, then you're proof of that.
Right.
If you don't have God, you don't get through that. Most people are like, where's God in all this? Watch me get through it and you'll know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so that's a very good comment, right? So if you want to be left alone by the devil, just stop following him. Don't be a threat.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Just don't be, it's like, here, how much do you love him? Yeah. How much do you trust him? How much are you going to buy into, hey, you're going to be with them a lot longer in heaven than you're going to be without him on earth? How much do you really, really, really believe that? And so, yeah, there's plenty of people that are not threats. And it's like, I guess the suffering in that sense is an honor, right? And I think at some point you have to learn to love some of the worst things that ever happened to you, right? Because that's what molds you into the type of Christian you are, the type of empathetic person, sympathetic person that you are, this type of...
Well, in here, let's call a spade a spade. A guy that lives a holy life that doesn't go through shit ever is not going to lead anybody to Christ, because the first thing they're going to say, of course you follow Jesus. You got a perfect life. You're rich. Nothing's ever happened to you. You're married. Your wife's good looking. Your kids are good looking. You got $1 million. You've never been through any hardships in your life. Of course you're going to say, follow Jesus.
It's what the devil said to Job.
Yeah. Yes.
It's what the devil said about Job.
Yeah, that's right.
And let's remember, he had to get permission to tempt him.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And so, at the end of the day,
so you have to use your story. You have to use your story to bring people to Christ, because you're relatable, you're believable. Because if you will follow Christ after what you've been through, who we all know that God's the creator and the Alpha and the Omega, and created all this and has ultimate power, but still allowed that to happen, and you know that, and you still choose to follow him, you know something.
Right, but you have to understand, you said something very important there. You said the word allowed. He didn't cause it, but he did allow it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so...
that's the fallen world.
Bottom line, we live in a fallen world. And it's not fair. It's
Steve Redmond, a guy on, I don't know, do you know
I
Steve?
know him well.
Yeah. So Steve was on here.
He's been on my podcast.
And he said that God is a perfect gentleman. He's not going to invade in your worldly affairs. He's not going to impose himself. And
you have to invite him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to invite him, and he doesn't yell. And that's why you need to listen very, very closely. There's two ways that I would say to people to engage with the Holy Spirit and God. One, let's say you have a faucet and that faucet's dripping, and you can hear it drip, drip, drip. It's not loud, but no matter how loud that everything else around you gets, for some reason you only hear that drip.
Yeah.
Drip.
Yeah.
Drip. That's how you have to be with the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
No matter how loud everything else gets around you, you have to be able to be in tune with the Holy Spirit, because the devil's going to create distractions, right? The devil's the motion, right? He wants to get your eyes here and hit you here. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you're talking about football terms, right? You know, he gets all kinds of window dressing for you, you know? And so he wants to get you focus on something else, and then he's going to hit you someplace where you're vulnerable. And then as far as like your heavenly Father, I mean, you have kids. You remember putting them on your shoulder?
Yeah.
And then you can feel them breathe on your neck. It's probably the greatest thing ever, right? But then all of a sudden, as the baby inhales, you inhale. And as the baby exhales, you exhale. And next thing you know, you and the baby have this rhythm, right? And baby inhales, you inhale. And the next thing you know, you don't know if you put the baby to sleep or the baby put you to sleep. But that's how you need to be in a rhythm with your heavenly Father. The baby got in a rhythm with their earthly father. You need to be in that rhythm with your heavenly Father, and teach the baby to be getting that rhythm with their heavenly Father, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how good we are going to leave gaps. And so I think as a father, we have a tendency to try to align our kids with us when we need to align them with him.
Yeah.
Because we're going to leave gaps. We're going to screw shit up.
Yeah, no doubt. 100%.
Right. And so, you know, you want to have this tight leash, right? Or if you ever look at a dog that's just it keeps taking off, and the leash grabs him and brings him back, right? Dog takes off again, the leash grabs him and bring it back. You want to be like that with the Holy Spirit, because you're prone to wander, right? So you just want to be on a tight leash that every time you do something stupid, you know, and try to run off.
He pulls hard on mine.
Yeah, right, right. And so those are some things that I try to think about all the time, and I fail. I mean, are you kidding me?
We all do. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's why he died.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so you know, another thing I was thinking about too. Weightlifting terminology. So if I go to step over a 400-pound deadlift bar right now and pick it up, I can't do it. I'm not conditioned for it. Okay. You step up to that, and I spend the next 2-3 weeks working with you, training me, posture right, eating right. In a 3 to 4 weeks, I pick it up. Okay. It didn't become less than 400 pounds in those 4 weeks.
No.
It's still 400 pounds. And that's what I try to tell people. The weight of life, because I'm a Christian and I walk with who I walk with now and the way that I do, it doesn't make what I'm going through any less than what you're going through. It's still heavy.
Yeah,
it's still heavy. But I walk with a God who works with me every day and conditions me so that I could carry that weight differently than you do, or some, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I completely and totally get it. And you have to condition yourself. And part of me thinks, hey, yeah, we have to also kind of have an understanding of how our enemy is going to attack us, right? But now you could indirectly start worshiping him, right? If you spend all your time thinking about him,
yeah,
right? Because you can do that. And then what'll end up happening is you're going to be loaded with anxiety because you can't beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But that's kind of the Mickey, if for lack of a better word, that God slips. The devil's like, hey, I'm going to put something on earth that by itself you can destroy. But with me, you can't touch touch. Right? And so that's why you have to be so anchored, right? Because he's going to attack you. He's going to attack you with money. He's going to attack you
wherever you're vulnerable. Everybody's got their own vulnerability. Mine's financial in marriage.
Mine's definitely. I find myself worshiping money all the time. I do it all the time, and so you have to. But at least I'm cognizant of it.
That's the biggest piece.
Yeah. You have to be conscious of it. You have to be conscious of your shortcomings, and you have to be humble.
Yeah.
You have to be super, super humble. I believe it's in the book of Peter or maybe it's Paul, one of the two, where it says, did Paul write it? I don't know, but it's humble yourself under the mighty hand of God and cast all your worries and cares onto him. Right? Well, if you read that, you could think it's two separate commands when actually it's a cause and effect, because by humbling yourself under the mighty hand of God, by doing that, you're casting all your cares onto him.
Yeah, you're not worrying about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to, but the key is humbling yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you look at pride and you look at anxiety, they're package deals. Right?
So the O in stronger is open-minded, and it's born out of humility. That was where it was humble, and humility was one of the character traits that I wanted, and I used open-minded to kind of be the substitute for that.
If you look at pride and anxiety, the middle letter in both of those words is I.
Yeah.
Right? And so you end up like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I, and you make yourself the center, and then you're going to be riddled with pride and anxiety. And then it's very difficult for him to come in and lift you, right? And so if you cut out the pride, right, and then now all of a sudden he can step in and he can lift those weights for you.
So the devil's plan always, and I try and make people that and help people with marriage counseling and going through stuff. The marriage between a man and a woman is the most sacred relationship on earth. It's the most closest representation of God and the Father and the Son, because they always talk the bridegroom, and there's always a lot of marital references when talking about Christ, right? And so always in every circumstance, the devil is steal, kill, and destroy. He's trying to get to a marriage. So how do you guys keep your marriage intact through such a traumatic event?
We made our mind up immediately. Our kids' story is not going to be we lost our parents we lost our sister and our parents went with them. We made our mind up. That is not going to be their story. And so it honestly, just by realizing that it was a big time threat.
Yeah.
We just took immediate action.
So you came closer together.
Closer.
Yeah, that's great. Good.
Closer, more protective of her more protective of me. And I think a father needs to understand, no matter if you're in that situation where you've lost a child, no matter how painful it is for you, you can't fathom what your wife is feeling. You just can't. You didn't carry that baby. You didn't develop that bond. There's no way. And I think understanding that will help you cater to her.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, the way I postured was, I just want my wife and kids to be okay. If my wife and kids are okay, I'll deal with my shit. Right. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And so I just focused all my energy on them.
Did you find during that period that with your intentionality, did you have to spend any time on yourself at all through that? Was there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like I have to say, it was incredibly selfless. I didn't give a shit about me. Well, they say the best gift, it's better to give than it is to receive, right? And so it's more blessed to give than it is to receive sometimes. So I would say this would be appropriate for that because you gave all of yourself in that, and God filled your cup. Was probably, looking at it.
100%. And I had to do some tough things from a business standpoint. Was I supposed to sell core physical therapy? I don't know. I don't know that I was, but I do know that I didn't have the bandwidth and the wherewithal to deal with it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I would have lost it.
Right. Yeah.
I would have lost it.
So something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I was too focused on my wife and my kids and referring doctors would get, that there were issues. And I'm like, I just can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with employees. I can't deal with insurance companies. I can't deal with my referring doc. I can't, because I don't give a shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, I got serious, here, y'all want to text me, you're sorry, but funeral, wake comes, the shit's over for you.
Yeah.
It's over for you, but I'm still stuck with this aftermath, even now, almost 5 years later, right? I still have aftermath to this, whether it's my own personal stuff, my wife's stuff. One of Nina's friends got married the other day. Me and Michelle were supposed to go to the wedding. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Michelle was, really, really struggled. She's like, I'm missing out on all this stuff that I would be going with her, and I felt bad because I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh, good, she doesn't want to go. I'm going to go take a nap, right? And so, but come to find out the next day, she kind of told me, and dummy me, I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to go to a wedding anyway.
Right.
Screw it,
Right.
But if I was really thinking, I'd have been like, babe,
probably should go.
Tell me why you don't want to go, Michelle. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's going on, and probe a little bit and say, hey, we're going to go do this together.
Yeah.
But I was tired, and I'd been working all day, and I was like, I'm going to take a nap. And so that's what I did.
We love naps when they come.
But, but it was still convicting the next day when she was in tears, right?
Yeah.
And I apologized. I said, hey, you know what? I was very selfish about that. Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking.
Right.
And, because that's part of the problem of not dealing with your shit and pushing it to the side and not peeling back the layers and dealing with stuff because you miss things like that.
Right.
You're not picking up on your wife's signals. And, she's an incredibly strong woman. Like, she could talk about Nina way easier than I can. We went and talked to a group of students at KU, and I just sat there and cried the whole damn time. I couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Because there was a big fentanyl issue down at the KU campus, and they had asked us to come speak to a bunch of the students and a bunch of the fraternities and sororities, and I couldn't even talk. But she stands strong and can do it. So she's an incredibly strong woman. Incredibly.
We're back live. Okay.
Perfect.
That was my first technical difficulty. We'll see how I edits. Where's Andrew when you need him?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, God.
Okay, so where were we? I wanted to, so you guys grew stronger together. You got really closer.
For sure. Yeah. And that's also the work of God, too. That's also as a consequence of her and I pressing in, right? As opposed to moving away. And I think that is the culprit. It's number one, the devil tricks you. He makes you get angry with God. He makes you turn your back on God. And then once you do that, there's this whole cascade of events that starts to take place. You start to think of yourself instead of, the others.
Well, it's like getting the sheep away from the flock. As soon as that one sheep's away from the flock, it's it.
Yeah.
The wolf's going to devour him.
Right. And so that's ultimately, we luckily had this huge support system, both with our friends and our quote unquote church family. Mm-hmm. And they all just really attacked us.
Yeah. In
right?
prayer
and everything,
yeah.
And, that's, I have to attribute that to it as well. We certainly didn't do it on our own.
Right.
You can't, like I said, you can't. So it was as a consequence of us diligently pursuing independent of our circumstance.
Yeah.
Which is what I learned the very next morning.
So I mean, because in those moments you hear the stories all the time, the blame game, right? Where it's why couldn't you go get her earlier, or why couldn't you? I mean, there's a litany of those blames you hear in those stories that cause those separations.
At the end of the day, our big thing was, why didn't we force her to come live with us? She wanted no part of that. Nina wanted no part of coming and living with us. None. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, and this is something that the therapist helped us through. She goes, okay, let's walk through that. Let's say she came and lived with you. Then what?
Mm-hmm. Then you find her
in your house?
In your house, yeah. Then you got to move.
Right, because, it ruins everything. Mm-hmm. And so really the bottom line is Nina made a decision and it cost her life.
That's right. Yeah.
She now, does the punishment fit the crime? No, I mean, it doesn't, and
was she saved?
Nina would intermittently go to church. If you were to ask her, do you believe Jesus died and rose from the dead, and because of that you have eternal life? She would say, yeah.
She was raised Catholic, right?
She was born and raised Catholic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she would come to the Rock with us. That she would go to church at the Rock with us.
Right.
And so so in that sense, I would say yes. Nina was saved. Now, was Nina a practicing Christian? No.
Yeah, I mean, I think that even practicing Christians are in and out sometimes.
Yeah. Right. I mean, here. So, but me personally, I believe in, your justification through faith alone. So I think if somebody in their heart, without a doubt, believes Jesus died, rose from the dead, and because of that we have eternal life, if they truly in their heart believe that, I would say, I would say yes, then that's all you need. Yeah. You don't need anything else. And
well, that's the truth. That's what the religion, that's what faith tells us.
Yeah. And so I would say, yeah, she was definitely saved. I mean, but I look in retrospect, when I was doing all the shit that I was doing, covering every sin in the book other than rape and murder. Right. I believed that.
Yeah. Right.
I still believed it.
That's right. That's right, yeah.
So
it's funny because we talk about this sometimes where people get upset. The prodigal son story, right? Where people are the good brother, right? And they get upset. Like, I don't, this is what pisses me off about Christianity is that you can take someone good their whole life and they get to go to the same place to a guy that was a piece of shit his whole life, but he accepts him on his deathbed and he gets to go to heaven. And I say, yeah, but you don't understand the life that he lived. As a criminal, as a drug addict, it's stressful. It's stressful. You did not live a good, wholesome, you didn't live a good life. It was very stressful.
The punishment is, how do I want to say this? Sometimes the organic punishment is way worse than anything that you can do to them.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just by them being them is a punishment. If you're a drug addict, if you're,
that's the point I'm making. I lived that life, and I'm telling you,
it's miserable.
Miserable.
It's miserable.
I couldn't imagine. And here's the thing: I live a good life now, and it's not very miserable. But I still think my penance to pay is God's going to make me live to 130.
Right. And who wants that?
Yeah. I mean,
people were talking about the rapture, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about the rapture.
Come on.
I'm ready. I mean, I have no problem. That would be the best news.
In fact, I would prefer the rapture because I think we all go together at the same time. I got to worry about no more funerals and
nothing. I'll be like, I am not scared of the rapture at all. I'll be like, God, I'm sorry. What else can you say? I'd be like, hey, I know I messed up. I know I made conscious bad decisions. I'm sorry. And I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I watched this guy the other day. Ace Smalls is his name. Smarts. I'll have to say, is this black dude? He's so funny, man. He is. He's so against like the victim mentality, right? He just goes off, right? He's so funny. Well, there was somebody that was wearing, it was like a furry, and they had nose hair. I mean, just a freak, right? And he goes, it shows this video of this person, and then it clips to him, and he goes, I missed it. The rapture came. They left me. They left me here. I gotta find it and send it to you.
Here, I gotta send you the one where the guy goes. The caption says, "How you explain yourself to God when you get to the gates," and all of a sudden the guy goes, "Look, I'm fucking retarded." And I mean, I'm like, oh my God, I can relate to that so much. I mean, it's hysterical. It's hysterical.
It's the truth, right?
And it is, right? It's like, here's the thing, okay? And here's where people make the mistake. We live in a performance-based world.
Oh, man.
Right?
I'm so performance-oriented.
Well, everyone, like, hey, if your employee does X, you're going to pay him Y. If he does Z, you'll pay him A, right? And so you go back and forth.
Transactional.
Everything's transactional, right? And then you take that earthly concept and try to apply that to God's grace, and then you find yourself trying to earn it. And then we can't wrap our heads around the fact that there's nothing you can do to earn it. There's nothing you can do to not earn it. There's no quid pro quo attached to God's grace. And while
just receive it.
I don't believe our human brains can understand it, we still can accept it as truth.
Yeah, right. 100%.
Right. And that's ultimately what you have to do.
Sometimes I say that. I don't understand it, but you do. All right.
No, I don't understand God's grace. I don't get that. Like, I'm not for nothing, but the person who deserves it the least is the one who's going to get it the most.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, that's me sometimes. I feel like
it's everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you end up having the other brother mentality when you're talking about the prodigal son.
Right.
You're like, well, wait a second. He did all this crap.
Right. I'm telling you.
I didn't do any of that. He still gets to come in. This is bullshit, right? But you just have to.
The ring, Dad, you gave him the
ring. So you just have to be able to accept it as truth. Now, here's the thing. So you ask yourself, okay, well, if that's the case, why be obedient? Well, the reason why you're obedient is because you don't know what's behind your obedience any more than you know what's behind your disobedience. Mm-hmm. Just like I said earlier, you can pick your sin, but you ain't gonna pick your consequence.
That's right.
Right, and so you that's why you're.
Well, I'm a living testimony of obedience and how it continues. The blessings continue that didn't happen when I wasn't obedient.
Right. Right.
At all.
It's like, don't touch a hot stove and wonder why the hell you keep getting burnt.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's the analogy I always use. I say, listen, I'm a hard learner. You tell me a stove's hot, I'm going to touch it anyway because I'm a little tougher than you. I think I could take more heat than you.
Yeah. So how hot? It is. It's real hot. God damn. Yeah.
You're right. So, all right, I want to fast forward. Thank you for sharing all that. I know that reliving that's got to be tough, and I know that there's probably going to be somebody watching it and going to be able to sense your humor after you're still living life, man. You're not stuck. You're not stuck in your own head, in your own world. You've been able to move on. You've got, your kids are healthy, your wife's good, your marriage is good, and you live and receive those blessings that you have. And
you just have to understand, and Nick Saban says this, and really anyone who's successful adopts it. It's like, and he says, I want to talk to you about the importance of nothing. When you wake up, you deserve nothing. You are guaranteed nothing. You have to. You cannot get stuck and live that victim mentality. I mean, you can. You certainly can.
Sure.
But you're not going to benefit from it.
Right.
And so now here, do I deal with aftermath of losing two kids? Yeah, 100%. Do I have post-traumatic stress disorder? Yeah, 100%.
That's a fill in the blank. If you're walking with Christ, I deal with stuff. I haven't lost any kids. I deal with stress and stuff because because I walk with Christ, and that devil's going to attack us. Your vulnerability happens to be what you went through. That's a fill in the blank, really, and that's so understanding that, not being the victim. You've erased that blank for the most part. You haven't given that devil a foothold.
No, you try not to, but here's what happens: you call one of the kids and they don't answer, and then you're like, why aren't they answering? What's going on? And that is, I think, in my opinion, those past events bubbling, right? And I do believe that there's maintenance-free healing. I do believe in Christ there is maintenance-free healing, but man, it's tough. It's tough not to confuse, because with post-traumatic stress disorder, you confuse possibility with probability. As a matter of fact, you reverse them in your head, right? And so, is it possible that I walk outside and get struck by lightning? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? No. But in the mind of the post-traumatic stress disorder, it switches. And now all of a sudden getting struck by lightning is probable in your head.
That's big.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now that I've spoke with my therapist, and I've started to really start to, try to unravel some of this stuff. He's like, you're just confusing probability and possibility, and you're doing it over and over and over again, and it's sending you into this panic. Now, on the inside, it happens. On the outside, I don't let anyone else know it's happening to me.
Duck on the pond.
Right. Yeah. I don't let anyone else know. Right. But that's what goes on inside of someone's brain when they're dealing with this. It's confusing and switching probability and possibility.
That's so crazy. I learned the other day by having these gals on here, cancer survivors, and I never ever realized the aftermath. The surviving cancer is actually more difficult than fighting it.
Yeah, well, you
fight it for a year,
but then the aftermath is, oh, what's this? What's that? What's this feeling I have? What's that? Is it coming back? I mean, it's horrible.
Never even thought about it.
And that's definitely a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. Mm-hmm. Particularly someone who, I got to go get this exam today to make sure that my cancer didn't come back. Mm-hmm. That's awful.
Yeah, right.
But here, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you someone else that I need to get on my podcast. Chip Sherman. He was the head coach at Platte County, brilliant football mind. He coached at Pius for a year. I got to learn a ton from him, but his wife's got Parkinson's. Okay. He had cancer. Then they told him the cancer will come back and the cancer will kill him. And last year he's like, I got to go get this test tomorrow and find out if this cancer's coming back. And I'm like, how are you doing with that? He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, I've been married to the love of my life for 50 years. I've seen all my kids grow. I've seen all my grandkids. We're going to renew our vows in Rome. And when it takes me, it takes me. And he doesn't have any stress about it. It doesn't, and it's because that man is so anchored. He's so incredibly anchored.
So when you look at it, it's a win-win. I get to stay here and be with my family, or I get to go up there and be with God.
It doesn't matter to him.
It doesn't matter.
Now, that probably will change for you and I, and we could maybe wrap our heads around that when our kids are older and independent of us.
Sure.
But, nobody wants to go prematurely, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Everybody wants to be successful until they get the invoice.
Yeah. There's a price. There's sleepless nights. There's, getting pushed down and having to get back up again. There's a lot that goes behind that.
No doubt. Okay. So, we'll wrap this up here in a minute, but I want to get into your business. So you were a physical therapist for many years, sold that practice, did a few things, some investments. And then now recently in the last, year, you've really dove back into this thing. And by the way, yours and Mitch's content lately, way better.
Well, it's because of Moss Marketing Group.
Okay. Yeah, way better.
Yeah, it's all
definitely.
Yeah, we engaged Moss Marketing Group, and it's been a game changer. But So here's how that whole thing went down. I had two people that I knew. I'm going to talk fast because I know we're in a hurry. I had two people that I knew check themselves into inpatient rehab facilities due to exacerbations and depression. And both facilities, one in Arizona, one in Kansas, did the same thing to their foods. And so I thought, okay, the nerd in me is like, why? Tell me why they're treating mental illness with food. And so,
in a good way, you agree with.
Now I do. Okay. Now that I dove into it and I figured out what's going on here, as a therapist, I missed it for 20 years. When you have chronic pain patients and the MRI is negative and you're throwing the kitchen sink at them from a physical therapy standpoint and they're not getting any better. Well, it's because they're eating foods that are jacking their inflammatory markers through the roof and they hurt everywhere. And then they put diagnoses on them like fibromyalgia, which is basically just like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. So we're going to give you this diagnosis. When ultimately, you change their diet, you lower their inflammatory markers. The same diet that lowers the inflammatory markers also boosts serotonin and dopamine, which is going to make you feel better mentally. Okay. And then you also have
I love dopamine.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We all do. Right. And so it boosts your serotonin and dopamine. And then it simultaneously is triggering your body to target fat for energy instead of sugar and carbohydrates. So all of these things are happening based on one nutrition plan, right? So you're decreasing inflammation, you're improving dopamine and serotonin, which are your happy neurotransmitters / hormones, and you're turning your body into a fat burning machine.
So question, because your practice for the last 20 plus years has been all physical and not so much into the nutrition. Now that you've adopted this, have you had to go back and relearn or teach yourself?
Not from the physical standpoint.
No. I'm talking about the nutrition side.
Oh shit, yeah. So, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, right. So Mitch does have a nutrition background.
Yeah, he's a nutritionist. Yeah,
so that's great.
Yeah, so he's the one that showed me all the research behind it. Like I always knew.
Did you say nerd stuff? Is that what
yeah, right. I always knew chronic pain affected your mood. I knew that. They taught us that in school.
Well, yeah, I heard. I'm pissed.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so. But I didn't understand how food fed both pathways, right? So food's going to feed that orthopedic pain pathway, which is going to simultaneously affect your mood, and then food ultimately can affect your mood. So you're getting a double-edged sword based on what you're eating.
Where does cortisol come into this?
Cortisol comes into it.
Transaction.
So ultimately what happens...
Stress, right?
Right. So when cholesterol is taken, okay, because cholesterol will make testosterone. I'm going to give you the USA Today version of this. Okay. There's a lot that goes into it. But under the stress pathway, when they pull cholesterol down to make testosterone, it doesn't. It goes and makes cortisol. Okay? So now under stress, instead of turning your cholesterol into testosterone, it's turning it into cortisol, which is causing you to retain belly fat. It keeps you in fight or flight, even if there is no stimuli. Okay?
You lose muscle, you get fat.
That's it. That's it. Now, how do you control stress? Well, exercise is a good way to do that, right? Exercise boosts serotonin and dopamine, just like what you eat boosts serotonin and dopamine. So I had John Burke on. He's a psychologist, and he's like, 100%, there will be less people dependent on psych meds if they ate right and exercised. 100%. No question about it. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to need psych meds. Okay. I don't want you to think that I'm saying people don't need psych. Some people do.
Right. Sure.
Okay. But what he's saying is they're going to be way more effective under the influence of exercise and a sound diet.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, we got to up this dose. Oh, we got to change this med. Oh, we got to add this mood stabilizer. Oh, we have to do this. Right. And so.
Yeah. But nobody wants anybody to know this stuff.
Well, there's certainly...
This doesn't comply with Big Pharma.
We are unhealthy by design. And there's another podcast that I did to show you the amount of money that statins, beta blockers, diabetic medication, psych meds, the amount of money generated from these. Right? So it's no wonder they said, hey, fried eggs are bad, but Cheerios, they're heart healthy. It's like, dude, that is the most... If you believe that, then I have some oceanfront property in Arizona for you. You know, it's like, and at the end of the day, at the beginning of all this whole core personal training thing, there, you know, in the experiment, N equaled 3. Me, Michelle, Mitch, right? Well, now N equals 30, right? And they're all getting results. And they're all decreasing pain, and they're all getting off pain meds, and some of them are getting off mood stabilizers, and they're all losing weight, and they're all losing fat, and they're all changing their body. Everyone that is compliant is doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so now I know I'm sitting on something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now I know I'm sitting on something, and so it's like, that's why I don't chase people around. Like, I'm going to educate you. I'm going to tell you what it is we do. Buy into it or don't. I don't care.
Right.
You know, that's up to you. I'm not going to sit there and try to force you to come on board.
So this is like really like no other. This isn't trainer. What you guys think of as a personal trainer, this isn't the same. This is a life coach.
I would say we'd probably be more life coaches than we are personal trainers.
You may even have to at some point expand and bring on a psychologist.
I would have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
I would have no problem doing it. Once we have enough clients, I could see myself doing that and bringing a psychologist on as a coach as well. I could see myself doing that because we're getting to the point where people are finally starting to wise up to what big pharma is doing. And there's some people that are like, they're going to do exactly what their doctor says. I'm like, dude, your doctor is 300 pounds and smokes a pack a day. I'm like, why are you taking nutrition advice from him or her? It doesn't matter, right? And so they have this primitive idea of counting calories and counting your macros. It's like, I changed my body and I might have consumed 4,000 calories a day.
Right.
You know, and lost 7% body fat. But I was consuming nutrient-dense foods.
The right stuff.
And simultaneously turning my body, and I have work to do still, clearly, right? It's like, I'm not where I want to be, but are you ever?
Right, no.
Right?
No.
I mean, as a matter of fact, now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to gain weight. You know, I was 211 pounds. I was 17% body fat. The other day I was 198 pounds and 15 and some change percent body fat. And I'm like, I want to put on, I like myself at 210.
A little thicker.
Yeah. So now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to put some weight on, which is as hard as losing it. You know, so, but what I'm saying is I feel good. I mean, I've had 10 orthopedic surgeries. I've had 4 knee, 5 shoulders, a low back. I've had every year I met my deductible, you know, and I'm like, okay, so I could invest in my health or I could invest in my illness. Which one do you want to invest in? If you invest in your illness, you're going to have to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Or you can make a one-time investment into your health, actually learn the why behind what we are telling you, and then be able to ultimately not need us anymore. That's the goal. Like, I don't want you to need me in perpetuity. If you need me in perpetuity, I screwed up.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But that's also dependent on how active you are in this program. Like, if you don't try to understand scientifically what's going on with what you're eating, and why you're doing what you're doing, and why the exercise prescription is the way it is, and all these different things, then no, you're going to get done, and then you're going to go back to your old ways, and you're going to weigh freaking who knows what you're going to weigh.
It's funny. I've almost, because I get into that whenever I'm if I try a new peptide or a new supplement or a new vitamin or anything, I learn and I get into the science of it, and I want to know physiologically what it's doing to my body, because I almost feel like if I know what it's doing, it will do it.
Well, not only that, but understanding why is what drives behavior.
Yeah,
right. So if I want you to be compliant, which I do, I want you to understand the why. So I'll have some people be like, I'm always hungry. I'm not getting the results I want. You said we weren't going to be hungry. I'm like, okay, tell me what you're eating. Okay. Oh, well, here, bottom line, you're not eating enough of X, Y, and Z to spike the hormone leptin in your brain, which is going to tell you that you're satiated. So let's modify this and let's add X, Y, and Z to what you're currently eating.
More portion.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be a portion control. It doesn't matter. Like in this program, when you're hungry, you eat. It doesn't matter, right?
You just eat right.
You just eat the right stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're eating a bunch of, lean foods with no fat content to it, you won't spike leptin,
right?
And you're not going to feel satiated,
right?
You're just not.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing why you should never, ever, ever, ever be hungry on this program. Never. Because when you let yourself get hungry is when you throw your hands up and say, screw it. Mm-hmm. Give me a double with nuggets and fries and a shake. So I don't want you getting hungry.
When I got done with my show that night, I almost put you've ever heard of people talk about being in a food coma?
Yeah.
I literally almost put myself in a food coma.
Yeah.
I think physiologically, medically, I could have been diagnosed with a food coma. I thought I literally, my blood pressure was through the roof. I couldn't hardly walk back to the room. I thought I was going to throw up at any second. I was so miserable, and I thought I really thought that I hurt myself.
I've been there. I've been there. Yeah, believe me, I've been there with food. And I just got tired of hurting. I got tired of having to take opioids. I got tired of all that. I got tired of every time I moved, I was afraid my back was going to lock up on me. I got tired. And now there's things that I could do in the gym that I never would do because I was too scared to do them.
Right.
And I can train at a pace that I wasn't able to train at because I didn't have this global inflammation based on, the fact that the night before I went to bed and had 10 Oreos because I ain't eating 5.
Count me in for a sleeve.
A sleeve, right? Yeah, with some milk, and then you wake up and your whole body hurts, and you're like, "Why?" And so when I took all that, and not for nothing, but I never withdrew from drugs, but I sure as hell withdrew from sugar.
Did you? Yeah.
Oh,
headaches,
fevers, sweats.
Wow.
For probably 8 to 10 days.
Wow.
That's... And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you feel like the Incredible Hulk and you're like, wait a second, I could do a push-up. And mind you, I've had 5 shoulder surgeries. I'm like, hey, I could do a push-up regularly. I don't have to do it on my knees. Hey, I can bend over and actually pick this weight up. I don't have to get down on one knee to do it. I can actually, little things. I could stand up and put my socks on. I don't have to sit down and do it. Just little things I started noticing. It's like, hey, wait a second, I haven't been able to do that in years.
That's great. I love that.
Just little things that throughout your activities of daily living, I was able to start doing. Like in football, I would be like, I can't demonstrate this. Yesterday I was doing an option drill with the kids. It's like there's no way I'd be able to do that.
That's great.
Well,
let's. All right, so I want to wrap it up before this thing dies on us. How do people get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Well, they could just
I'll put some links in the description here for sure.
So we have a lot of ads on social media right now. We're putting about $1,000 a month behind a lot of our content, and then it will cue you to not sign up, but set up a call. The consultation's free. Some people just reach out to me directly on social media and DM me. It's Core Personal Training _LLC is the Instagram and Facebook, and it's on TikTok as well. I'll
link them all.
Yeah, and then
I'll put them in
you could even call my cell directly. You could put my cell phone number. People do that too.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter to me how they reach out. Just what matters to me is getting people who are serious about change. Like when the pain of doing nothing outweighs the pain of change, that's when you're ready.
Yeah, right.
If you're going to hem-haw, don't waste your money. Yeah. Just don't. It doesn't.
If it just sounds like a good idea, probably not. It's got to be that point where something's got to change.
Every single person that has came on, like I said, we have about 30 people now. We just started back in April. So between April and now October, we have 30 people signed up for the program. Every single person that finished the 6 months has elected to stay on. Right? Mm-hmm. And so we are getting good results. Period. Case closed. Not for nothing. I'm not interested I'm interested in making a lot of money only as a byproduct by providing a lot of help.
Yeah. It's you want it to be a byproduct.
Yeah.
Not the product.
No. And at the end of the day, there's a ton of intellectual property behind this program. A ton of it. There's a ton of research. There's 20 years of physical therapy experience and 10 years of nutrition experience, and a nutritionist who treated Crohn's disease in himself without getting on IV Remicade. He, and is asymptomatic.
That's something you usually got to live with for your whole life, right? You can't get rid of it once you have it, right?
No, but he doesn't have any symptoms.
That's great.
Now he has to follow a strict diet, but it's better than being on IV Remicade.
But he's on a diet. Yeah, he's on a diet.
And he exercises, and he owns his own gym, and he's incredibly intelligent. Mitch Thompson, and he's a wizard. I mean, he really is. He's a smart.
How old is he?
Mitch is Ross Joseph's age.
Yeah, I was going to say the
28,
kid, he's
29.
wise beyond his years. You can tell his disposition is pretty. He's got swagger. I told you that.
Yeah, he does. And he speaks well.
Not a bad looking kid either.
No, and at the end of the day, that he's the one that got me to change. He initially started with Michelle, and I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, well, I look like a sack of shit. I'm like, and I was still working out every day, and I'm like, I got a dad bod, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna do what she's doing, otherwise, I don't look like I go with her,
right?
So, so I'm like, I'm gonna start this, and I started it, and initially, now here, the initial reaction is variable, meaning some people immediately feel better. I didn't have that luxury. But I have other people who are like, oh my God, this is miserable. I'm like, suck it up.
Right.
Trust me, you're going to feel better. And sure enough, it's usually 10 to 14 days, of getting off of that crap and that processed diet that they start.
The withdrawals.
It's a withdrawal.
The withdrawal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here, if you there's research studies that show they've given rats cocaine and sugar, and the rat will bypass the cocaine and go to the sugar. So, I mean, we both know how addictive cocaine is. And, so, I mean.
I do a cocaine and an Oreo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I ain't passing either one of them.
Yeah, right. So, at the end of the day, I want people who don't kind of want to make a change. They're dead set on it.
Yeah.
And they will be compliant, do what we tell them to do. And because I need you to get results.
Yeah, right.
If you don't get results, it don't help me.
It's the best advertising. Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't help me.
Yeah.
So,
well, Cuzzy, I appreciate you being on here. I love you too, man.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, you've been such a you and Michelle and the fam. I mean, it's you guys are great, man. I really I appreciate our talks. You're intellectual, but you're real. You're relatable. You're honest. You're brutally
to a
honest.
fault.
Yeah, honest. And I'm honored to call you my friend and really my brother. So
thank you so much. Love you too.
All right, let me do my little exit out here.
Do I got to keep this on?
If you want to hear my exit.
How did you make this? Did you get like?
Did the keyboard.
It's almost nostalgic.
Yeah, it's on the thing. That's another episode of the Stronger Leader Podcast with Frank Termini and your host, Tony Cardello. I will get this edited. There's going to be some funky editing on this one because I had some technical difficulties, but the conversation was great. So
absolutely.
Appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell so you're notified on every new release. Be good, be blessed, and be stronger.